Good evening, everyone, and warm welcome to my channel. It's called Vinnarskolan in Swedish, which means or can be translated to Winner Academy in English. It was a long time ago since I made a film in English, which is not my native language. But I'm gonna try to speak it as good as I possibly can. I'm not used to it. Not to making movies or short film clips in it, so you might be ready for some little hiccups here and there, but I'm sure it's gonna be good. And what am I gonna talk about in this movie? By the way, I'm Alexander Söderberg. I'm the chairman of Vinnarskolan or Winner Academy, my little own project, as I call it in Swedish and English too, for that matter. I'm an old collegiate runner and former NCAA runner, one time All-American, not more than one, but one is more than none. That was in 2009 in Division 1 cross country. And I raced that race 4 times total, but only one of them went really well. I'm not gonna live on that merit forever, but this little film was actually about something else. It's about the gratitude and feeling gratitude and optimistic about about your time here on Earth. And in this film, I'm gonna give a big thank you to certain people that made my stay in the United States, that lasted for almost 6 years, actually possible. I'm gonna return to that in a little bit, but just gonna give you some background. I was in the United States for 6 years. All of those 6 years on 2 different kinds of scholarship. One, an athletic scholarship that lasted for 4 years at this school, Iona College, or University, it's called now Iona University. That was from 2008 to 2012. And then Northern Arizona University for 2 years. I was working as a graduate teaching assistant while doing my master's in chemistry. So I got the education paid, or my master's degree paid for in that particular way. So and why am I talking about gratitude and feeling grateful for the things you have in life? Yes, I got actually a bit inspired last week when I saw a movie, or little film clip. This is probably 13, 14 years old. No, probably 14 or 15 years old right now. And in that film, in that movie, there was a migrant from Kazakhstan called Igor. He said jokingly that, yeah, I'm from Kazakhstan, Borat's country, but he came there 30 years ago. And when they made this show in 2011, it was called Undercover Boss. And actually the CEO for 7-Eleven, I don't know if he was CEO for 7-Eleven, the entire US business, or business in Texas particularly, but he followed this Kazakhstani, I don't know how to say it in English, man, for a few days while he was working his graveyard shift, like in the middle of the night. And this guy, Igor, he was very happy about where he was in life, despite working the graveyard shift that many people would hate. Many people would hate their lives and be very pessimistic about where they are. But he was very grateful that he got the opportunities he got since he arrived in the country 25 years prior with only $25 on his pocket. And that made me think I have a lot to be grateful for, because when I arrived in the States in 2008, yes, I'd been visiting the country a few times before, but back then I had a bit more than $25 in my pocket, because I got a scholarship that paid for my tuition costs, and those were about $26,000 back then, which is a lot of money. Back in the day, it's probably today's tuition costs are probably more than double that easily, or close to double. But still, it's over 100k, way over 100k just for tuition cost for 4 entire years. And some people paid me for that, or paid for that opportunity through donations to the athletic programs. And I'm very grateful for these people. So I would just like to say thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to spend 4 years at this college. All tuition costs paid. Because otherwise I would never been able to afford the opportunity. And here's a little plaque I got at my graduation. This is from 13 years ago. So you can see I've aged a little since, but I've aged very well. Don't look that much older compared to then. So that means I've aged with grace since then, to say the least. Now I'm not going to brag too much here, but just like to say thank you for all of you donors and sponsors to these athletic programs that made my stay possible and that are still making international student athlete stays possible. And domestic, of course. Words can't express my gratitude, because I got a chance that very few people get in life. And I realized that afterwards, that not many people get this unique opportunity. And I grabbed it and I don't regret it. So thank you once again. And thanks to all coaches and assistant coaches that facilitated my transition from life in Sweden to life in the States. That was not an easy transition, to say the least, especially not the first month or two. It felt in fact terrible. I was so homesick, I almost wanted to go back right away. But the coaches guided me through the most difficult hurdles in the beginning and all the paperwork prior to that. So thanks to head coach Santos and the former head coach Mick Byrne, who made this possible. And thank you to assistant coach Sam Burrows, who recruited me from the beginning. This is almost 20 years ago now at the European Juniors. Time flies. Then he transitioned shortly after I began my time at Iona College, or university as it was called then. But thank you, Sam, for recruiting me and for doing everything you could to make that transition to college life, or to the college team being a lot smoother. And thanks to all great teammates that made my time worthwhile. It would never have been so great if it wasn't for you. You were the entire reason I wanted to come to that particular school and a particular program in the first place. And if it wasn't for you, I would have never picked that college. That's one thing for sure. You were the glue that kept me remaining at Iona and wanting me to be there. And those are friendships that stay to this day, friendships that are for life. So thank you to all of you, and thanks to all of your teammates. Families who let me stay at your houses and invited me for dinners and all these other things. All this hospitality. Words can't express how grateful I am for those opportunities, and for those particular teammates whose parents let me stay at their place for like a week or so between semesters a few times when I was sorting out my living situation or apartment situation. Before that, thanks to you who let me stay at your place for a few days before sorting everything out, and during some breaks as well. Incredibly grateful for that, and incredibly grateful for all the opportunities I got during my 6 years in the country. And thanks to Northern Arizona University too, who offered me a graduate teaching assistantship for 2 years for my master's degree. So I'd like to thank them too for having given me that opportunity, that unique opportunity that very few people get. So thank you, Northern Arizona University, and the Department of Chemistry especially, and the sciences. And thanks to my mentors who also made for my academic programs, who made this stay a lot smoother than otherwise would have been the case. So thank you, Dr. Lee at Iona College, and thank you, Dr. Ingram at Northern Arizona University. You're really great examples of how good mentors should be, that engage with the student and want to make sure they do well in life no matter what path they take. So thank you to you as well. And who more should I thank you for my stay there? Yes, the assistant coaches I've named, assistant coach Burrows, assistant coach Kennedy, assistant coach Pienta, who's now head coach. Thank you to all of you. I'm going to talk a bit about my college experiences in the future videos too, because this is a self-development channel. I forgot to tell you that this is a self-development channel mainly directed towards a male audience, because I know that that being in that part of your life, like your early 20s, life really sucks. It can feel like it really sucks. And when looking back at it myself, and yes, life back then was not as good as now. It's gonna get a lot better. I'm gonna teach you some lessons in future films, and can just contact me at my webpage. No webpage, but my email, alexander@vinarskolan.se, or contact. I type it down there at vinarskolan.se if you need some coaching or guidance. I can offer that for a cheap penny, and you'll get your money's back if you're not satisfied, guaranteed. So, but those things I'm going to talk about later in future films. And just to make sure, everyone I name in a positive manner, I might name them by the last name, or maybe first name, the real first name or real last name, to give some recognition. But for those people who made my life sour and tried to make it difficult in any difficult way, I'm going to give them code names or alternative names. I'm not going to reveal their identity because I don't want to talk people down. But I got to mention sometimes people in my stories and my experiences that didn't have a positive impact on my life. I'm going to give them as warning examples, but I'm not going to expose them publicly with their names, real names or anything. So that's why I'm going to use alternative names or made up names, just so you know. But more about that later. But that's all I wanted to say in this film. Thanks to all these people in the United States, all those Americans who made my stay there possible. You are all great people who I wish the best in life, whatever you do. Myself, I moved back to Sweden 11 years ago almost. I'm going to talk about more that in a future film, why I decided to move back and why I think even to this day that it was the right decision for me to take. But more about that in later films. This was a movie about gratitude, and before I quit here, just keep that in mind. That big gratitude for what you have. I have myself forgotten many times to feel the gratitude I got for this opportunity to be abroad in another country for 6 entire years. So that's why I do this video, to say thank you to all of you who made that stay possible, and who didn't just make that possible, you made it a great stay as well. So, and very memorable. I'm gonna have this in my mind for the rest of my life, and that's all thanks to you. So that's everything I had to say for this film. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and there might be a movie in English here and there, but they're not going to be very heavy edited like the Swedish versions. Maybe a picture here and there and a few sound effects, but that's it. I hope the content that I deliver by mouth is sufficient enough. But have a good one till then. I see you later. Bye.